Great. No, I think we can start, Subhashish. Someone join, they will see, or if someone misses, then they will see the recording. Okay, so maybe you can take this from now. You don't need any introduction, right? So it's your show, Subhashish. You just start and give the introduction and then take it off.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
I am sharing my screen now. And yeah. Let me know once you can see my screen. Okay. The screen and sharing. Yeah. So, yes. So, hi everyone, and thank you for giving us an opportunity to talk to you on this AI hour. And it's a very special day today. And today we are working on AI as well as Valentine's Day. And I'd like to wish you a very happy Valentine's Day to you and your family. Um, it's all about love and all about teamwork and all about feeding the future from now on. So, and the future is AI, as you know. So whenever we talk about the future, the keyword AI comes into mind automatically. So it's going to be a very exciting session where we are going to talk about a lot of features that are common to Copilot, custom prompt, Copilot entities, and how they best could be leveraged in context to Dynamics 365 finance and operations. And then how can we take it forward to other other stuff? Say, for example, for Power Apps, how can we use Power Apps to talk to Dynamics 365 finance and operations using all these features? So yes, without wasting much of time, I'm just going forward. And this is the introduction. This is the agenda, and this is the landscape which we are going to cover today. It's a huge list, as you can understand, and it's going to start with an introduction, a crisp introduction, and then I will show you what are AI prompts and what all you can achieve by using the AI prompts. From there, we will go to Copilot entities. We will define Copilot entities, and we will see that its immense capabilities when we are talking about validations and custom Copilot entities could do a lot on your behalf. Then we would see how can we use this by creating topics with these entities. And then we will use Copilot using natural language processing to talk to Dynamics 365 finance and operations. And we'll then we'll be using AI models and training in Power Apps, how best we can use AI models to to make the various AI models that are available out of box systems that can do a lot of things that can help you a lot in various autonomous ways. Then we will try to show you a crude operation from Power Apps for Dynamics 365 finance and operations using all these Copilots related stuffs. I'll be covering a lot of examples so that it can trigger a lot of ideations to you, so that you can just not be restricted to Dynamics 365, but you can also take this offline to Business Central or in your say customer engagement development as well. So I will be answering your questions at the end of the session. So we would be requesting you to keep on typing, and Ramit, maybe Ramit, you can also chip in if in case if I miss anything. So without thank you so much, and without wasting my time, let's move forward. So this is a net about myself. You all know me mostly. So I'm one of your very old friends. I'm having almost 18 years of experience in Dynamics 365, and I am also into Azure. I'm also into Power Automate and Azure AI and the Microsoft Fabric. So Ramit is an old friend of mine, and so we have been working a lot of technologies companies together. And I'm a global speaker, and I've been working with Ramit in a lot of talks and meetings and various sessions. And you can see me in this LinkedIn profile, which is given below. If you need anything from me, you can ping me on this email ID. You can also explore my blogs in this URL, which is given out here. You can also check out my videos and podcasts on this YouTube channel, which is mentioned out here. Yeah, so that's very shortly about me. And so without wasting my time, I'm going forth and giving you an introduction of Copilot. I am sure about, like, you are quite versant, you are quite familiar with what is a Copilot, what are its capabilities, and you also know how Copilot can help you in context of finance and operations. And it's a significant achievement, advancement, integration, and AI-driven solutions when you are talking about enterprise resource planning. Copilot can leverage the power of AI to such an extent that it can shrink a lot of activities that you have been carrying out repetitively in the sense of, you are doing a lot of paperwork, you are doing a lot of manual works, you are doing a lot of round robin activities. All these things could be minimized to many folds going to Copilot. So Copilot can help you a lot with all these activities. And when you are talking about Copilot could be made much better when you are imbibing in it the capabilities of topics, the actions, the plugins, and various entities which we are going to show in our next slides and demos, which can give you an ideation like how could you take it forth and use in your own systems. So saying that, the next thing that comes to mind automatically is about the custom prompts. What are custom prompts? What is a prompt basically? So prompts are very much famous concepts which we can see in AI these days. So you can create a prompt to execute an action by just saying that what you want it to do. Suppose I want the prompt to book a ticket for me. It can go to the URL and it can pass on some kind of a payload and do some exercises and take you to the main step. Obviously, it cannot explicate the credit card details from you. That's not possible. But apart from that, it can do a lot of things. Suppose you also want to do a gist, you want to do a summarization, you want to take out, you want to parse a JSON, all these things you want to, parse an XML, all these things, all these activities that you used to do, all these things by writing codes. All these things will be minimized by the use of prompts. Prompts are very much easy to implement, as we will see, and very much easy to use in context to Copilot or any Power Apps or anywhere. So how can you implement a custom prompt? So it's very simple. You need to go to Power Apps AI and define the input and your set of instruction, what you need to do. Test your prompt by repetitively fine-tuning what you want and changing the instructions. So I will show you what is meant by this. So you need to keep on changing your instructions, your inputs, your the outcomes are satisfying your expectations or not, and you can keep on doing that until and unless you come to a good satisfaction level. Then you need to save the prompt and you keep the prompt calling from flows, Microsoft flows, or you can call it from Power Apps, or you can call it from Copilots. So you can do that. So custom prompts, we will see how to do this in a short. Okay. Custom entities, we will see it's an also amazing feature which is introduced in Copilot. So we will see like custom entities, you can define your own entities in Copilot to take down or interpret users input. Say for example, you are asking a user like how was your experience, good, bad, or horrible, or excellent. So definitely user might not be always giving this kind of answers. It might say like my experience was third class, my experience was horrific, awful, like that. So which is basically your Copilot entity can understand that it is matching with one of the options that you are going to define it here. So thereby it is going to do some kind of an activity based on that. You can embed your post, your custom entities to from the Copilot topics to extract the exact information what is needed. So if, for example, if I say I'm coming from a country India, so if you ask me, if I'm a user and you're asking me what is your country of origin, and I'm saying I'm coming from a country India, so it is understanding that I am referring to a country called India. It is not the entire sentence. It is a particular part of the sentence which I'm referring to, and that is the name of a country. And also, if I say my favorite color is green, or if I say my favorite color is blue, so it is understanding the color, the green or blue, it is understanding, not the entire response. So this is the amazing feature of custom entity in Copilot, which we'll see how we can use this. And we can definitely we can store this as a variable type, so it becomes a data type. As if you say in a variable, when you define a variable in a programming, so if you say int x equal to 5, like that, we're storing the variable in a custom entity in Copilot. We will see it. How can we do it? So once this is done, we will also see like in the Copilot topics, and what are Copilot topics? Copilot topics are very much bits and pieces of any kind of Copilot implementation. So you can define your own custom topic out there. Say for example, I want my sales order details. So basically, you are going to define some kind of a trigger, some kind of a phrases. So whenever certain phrases are encountered, system should understand it's what it should do. Say, for example, you are saying, can you bring me the sales order details? The system understands, okay, so this guy is asking me to bring the sales order details. So you are giving the sales, it's asking you, like, can you tell me the sales order number? So you are defining the sales order number, and then it is going back to F&O, and it is returning back and saying that, okay, so this is the these details of the sales order. So sales order so and so is basically billed to this customer, is so and so quantities were basically initially ordered, and this much is remaining, this much is invoice, like that. So these details basically it can figure it out. All this thing can be done by using efficient use of Copilot topics. And Copilot topics can also help you transfer between one topic to another. So suppose, say for example, you must have seen, like, when you are talking to some kind of a call center. So sometimes call centers basically use autonomous agents to answer to your queries, and when something goes beyond the capabilities, so they do what, they transfer it to some manual executive, some manual intervention. They understand it and they send it to manual intervention. So these you also can do by using Copilot topics transfer, which we will see. So these are amazing capabilities of Copilot topics, which you can use in context to Dynamics 365 finance and operations. And and we'll see how you can do this. Like as you can see, these are the few bullet points which is covered. Like validate the user inputs, create, read, like doing various kinds of CRUD operations. It can interact with user just like a normal person do. And you can also make use of chat GPT tokens. And you can also be conversational and topic management, as I was saying. And finally, it can also call actions and plugins, which are very much powerful agents to do various kinds of activities and or exercises. Okay, so once we have done this, we will jump into the AI models in Power Apps. So which we will see, like there are various ways to use these AI models in Power Apps, and we can define an AI model as per our wish. Say for example, if you remember, like if when you go to client side and you are ordering chapatis and curry, and you are doing some taxi bills, you are basically punching them and attaching them and scanning them and sending them to your boss. So your boss is doing what, he's manually reading them and approving them. Instead of that, it could be automated by using various kinds of AI models which are already there in as a part of access management, as part of various kinds of custom invoice captures. And these are all various forms of AI models which are in vogue already. Apart from that, you can also use your own AI model, as we will see with an example. Say, for example, I have a purchase order docket. And in the docket, I can mention, like, this is where my purchase order number should reside. This is where my vendor name should reside. This is where my items should reside. It will read from that docket. And, if you want, you can attach that purchase order to that receipt to a purchase order, which is an excellent example of an automation. Like, you don't need to do this manually or through code. It can do automatically using AI model. So yes, you can use this AI model. You can take this to your own implementation to do whatever you want to do. Okay, so saying that enough of theory, I would like to give you a break and let me show you like all these things, how you can do this implementations in hands-on. Okay. Okay, give me a moment, guys. I'm unsharing my screen for a moment. Okay, can you see my screen now? Is it visible? Okay.
Not yet.
Yeah. Now is it visible?
Yep.
Can you see?
Yes, it's visible.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Okay. So let me start with the prompts first word, as I was telling you. So here are my prompts basically. So in order to view the prompts, all you need to do is to visit here in your make.powerapps.com, and you need to select the particular environment for which you are defining your prompt. Say, for
No, I
example,
think Subhash,
Yes, it's true.
Subhash, I think your environment is not shared.
Yeah.
okay, let me, my bad. Let me stop my sharing and let me reshare once again. My apologies for the same. And okay, enter screen and sharing. Now I suppose you'll be able to see it. Yes. Can you see now?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Okay. So here is basically, I'm talking about prompts to begin with, and the base use of the prompts could be done when you go to make.powerapps.com and you choose the environment where you want to mm, design or define your prompts. So say, for example, I have my environments. These are the environments which I have available with me. So, and there are on the left hand panel, I could see like the list of AI hubs, flows, solutions, website sites, a lot of mambo jambos out there. So just in case if you're not able to see AI prompts here, all you need to do is to click on more and discover all. Here you can see like type AI prompts, and you'd be able to see your AI prompts down here. If you go to below, you'll be able to see your AI prompts here. And see, for example, I have pinned it out here. So you can also pin it. So for, you don't need to time and again, every time you come down here and search it, you can pin it up here. So here is your AI prompts. So you can come down to here in my AI prompts, and these are the lots of AI prompts, templates that are available. Apart from that, you'd also be see the list of prompts that you have created. Say, for example, I've created so many prompts here. And apart from that, I would be able to see the prompts which are shared with me. Say, for example, there are a few prompts which are shared with me. And I can also see all the prompts because I am a part of the administrative license. That's why. And excuse me. So these are my prompts which I have defined for various kinds of calculations, which I will one by one show it to you. So you can create your own prompt as well. Say, for example, you can build your own prompt. Okay. So if I say something like this, can you summarize the, just let me know like if this, if the sentences are very, very difficult to read, I will increase the size of the characters. So can you summarize the user input? If I say like this, then I'll add a variable out here. It's called add, and I'm saying text. I'm giving a text variable like, where any name I'm giving, where user input I'm giving, then a sample data, any data you want, the sample data. Suppose I have already taken down a paragraph from Einstein's relativity, brief on Einstein's relativity, which I'm going to copy, and I am pasting out here. And I'm, oh, sorry, oops, I'm removing this 3, 4, 5, all these things. These were hyperlinks from Wikipedia. I need to delete them. Okay, one second. Let me delete it from here itself so that, okay, one moment. My bad. I should have done this beforehand. Okay, and I'm copying this again and again. 3, 4, 5. It's written on here. Okay, so it's okay, still there. Okay, and special theory of relativity, I'm saying, okay, spatial theory of relativity. I'm copying this guy and I'm pasting it, and I'm just add the input. So I'm saying, can you summarize the user input in a couple of sentences? I'm saying. Now I can test the prompt. I click on this. What it will do is that it can understand, it is understanding what I'm saying. Just, it is just gist, is like picking out the gist of the entire paragraph or entire text in 2 sentences, and it is bringing it back to you. Okay, so this is an example. Okay, you can furthermore keep on adding your own instructions. Say, for example, in a couple of sentences, and can create a JSON response from it. So what we'll do is that it will create a JSON response, and by JSON theory of relativity, key concepts like that, it can do it. Whatever you would say, it will translate that into its own language. Whatever you are going to give as input, it will be able to translate that into its own understandable language, and it's going to bring it back to you. Now you might wonder, what's the point of defining? What is so special? What is so mumbo jumbo about creating a prompt like this? What good can it do to me? Yes. So imagine, like, you have an automation. You need an integration which does what? Like, every time after a meeting is over, uh, a Teams meeting is over, you must have seen, the transcript of the call is basically written along with the video recording. So you can use Graph API. Okay, you can use Graph API to access that video and transcript. Then you get hold of that transcript and you use this prompt to get the details of the you can gist the meeting in a couple of sentences. So this is an example, like, not necessarily that you have to use for that only. That's an example. I will show you more and more examples which can trigger more thoughts to you. Okay. So say, for example, this guy, if you see the get address details. So say, for example, I'm saying extract the value of street, postal code, city, and country from customer address as a JSON. Okay. So what I've done is that I have defined a variable here. It's called customer address, and I have given a template, like, street address, then the city, then the pin, and then the country. So if I have given like this, what it will do is that if I click on test prompt, it is going to create a JSON out of it. You see street, city, postal code, all these things. Basically, it is going to scoop out of it. I've also said remove all all remove all the single quotations and JSON keywords from it. Also remove any unwanted parts of the response which is not related to my calculations. So if I don't say this, what will happen? I'm just testing the prompt once again. So you will see that it is going to bring a lot of things that are not required. Basically, you see here is extracted information, so and so, which is I don't need in my calculation. So this is the reason why I had kept this extra instruction along with the original instruction. Okay, so this is a typical situation which I will show you right away, whereby you can get the address of a user. You input user's input, and you can create a JSON out of it to do some further activities. Okay, I will come back to this in a bit. Okay, I'm just canceling it. Okay, so this is a very brief introduction to prompts. So you can use these prompts in subsequent manners, which I will show you. So you can keep on using your own prompts just like the way you want. You can keep on adding instructions, and you can expect ChatGPT to listen to you just in like the way you talk to your friend. Okay, so that was one example. Let me take you back to my Copilot. Okay, so as we were discussing at the start, like, we are going to talk about the prompts, and then we will talk about the entities. So I'm sure by now you know what is a Copilot, and Copilot is actually attracted. I mean, Copilot is accessed through this through this URL, which is https://copilotstudio.microsoft.com. And here again, you can select the environment that is basically needed for your exercise. So say, for example, we need this demo, this environment I'm selecting out from here. Once this is done, I am going to my agents. So here I already have my agents out here. So my agents, which I am going to show to you, is Copilot for Finance and Operations apps. So inside here, you'd see, so this is my Copilot. I'm not telling you, I'm sure you know about this, like how is this, how did this agent get installed? You know about this, I'm sure about that. It comes as a part of a number of pre-texted setups, configurations. I am sure you are aware of that. I'm not getting into it just for the sake of time. Okay, if you have any concern, please reach out to me or Ramit. We will try to help you out. Okay, so once this is done, I am coming to here. So this is my Copilot for Finance and Operations apps. Here in my settings, if I click on my settings, you would see on the left hand side, this page will come. On the left hand side, I am having my entities. So if I can show you, like these are all the system out of box entities, which are zip code, weight, URL, temperature, so many things Microsoft has already given you for your easy references, and you can use them directly right away. And apart from that, you can also create your own entities. Say, for example, I have my sales order number entity. I have a generic vendor code entity which I've created, which I will show you what is it. I will show you. Before that, let me open my Dynamics 365. Okay, let me open my INMF and let it open in the meanwhile, and I will explain what is it. What is it doing is basically, you see, I'm giving a name, like name is generic vendor code, like that. I've given a name. You can give any name, no problem, and also a description, which is going to give crisp description of what is this entity going to do. Then a pattern I'm giving. The pattern is, so it is saying, say for example, it is saying if I open my accounts payable, and if I open my purchase orders, all purchase orders, and let it open in a bit. So I'll show you, like, the vendors for INMF or for USMF or for any organization, they have a rhythm, they have a number sequence. So here the number sequence is first 4 characters should be from anything from A to Z. Okay. First 4 characters could be anything from A to Z, followed by a dash, I mean a hyphen, and then okay, so that makes the you see, like for example, this one, it's a INMF hyphen 6 charactered number. So that's exactly how I've mentioned it here. Okay, so you can use this. For similarly, if I come to here, the sales order number I've done in a similar manner. Sales order numbers are 6 in my instance, are 6 charactered numerals, like 0 to 9, 6 character numerals. That's what I've said, that 0 to 9. Then in second bracket, I've mentioned the number of literals. It should be there. When you say that, it will understand, like, that whenever you are asking for a sales order number, it should be a 6-digit number. If you would define any other thing other than this 6-digit number, it won't simply be able to accept that, and it will ask the question again and again unless you are giving a valid answer to it. Okay, I will show you what I mean. Okay, so I'm closing this. This where, if you create an entity, there are 2 ways there are 2 types of entities you can create. So I can create the regular expression, the one that you saw, regular expression, and another is a closed list. So this closed list is nothing but a type of options variables, just like the example I've already created. I'm just leaving. So here I've created an example beforehand for you. It's called ready racer experience. What is it doing? It is good, fair, bad, pathetic, like that I have defined. So good synonyms are what? Superb, excellent. Fair synonyms are what? I have not mentioned anything, but fair means not bad. I can say like that. I can say it like this, like not bad. I can say like this, and I can say done. And bad is definitely bad. Okay, it didn't get saved, I suppose. Not bad. I don't know what. Okay. So bad is what? Bad is always bad, and pathetic is, I've already kept a synonym as horrible. So like that, you can keep a number of options. You can keep on adding options, and you can save them. So if you save them and you have smart matching on, so if someone asks an user saying that, can you tell me your experience? If the system asks like this, and the user says, oh, my experience was horrific, so it will be able to relate to this option, that is horrible. Okay, and it will be, as it is smart matching is kept as on, so that will make it horrible. Okay, so that's how it works. I will show you in a bit, like how can you use this excellent excellent feature of Copilot. So I'm closing this. So yes, coming back to here, experience. Okay, let me come back to my agents and let me launch my um, topics right away. So here I have a topic, say for example, like this. Okay, so here is my, and let me go to USMF for your USMF and different dashboards. So sometimes it goes a little crazy, but yes. So this USMF meanwhile. Yes, and here let me go to the topics. In my topics, I have defined a topic. Say for example like this: summarize sales order. So if you click on this, let me show you how it's working. It's very simple. First of all, it's saying, can you summarize sales order? Can you give the summary of a sales order? Or you can keep on adding more topics, more phrases. I need, uh, you know, uh, summarization of uh, an episode. Like, you can ask phrases. You can keep on adding keywords like this, and you can keep on saving them. And the moment this you ask a question to the Copilot, that very moment the system will understand that you are referring to if you are basically asking it to ask you some question back. What is that? So I'm saying, can you provide the, let it reload? Yes. So when these questions are encountered, I'm telling it to, can you provide the sales order number? So when you say this, I am getting hold of sales order number in this variable sales order number. Because if you remember, that exactly we created in our entities, in our custom entities, in our user defined entities. Okay, so here you see I'm saving this in a variable identifier called sales order number out here. Okay, then it is again asking, can you tell me the legal entity? So I'm storing that in a variable of type or organization. Okay, and finally I am passing it to a Power Automate. I will show you step by step all these things. Okay, so let me take out my, what is this? Okay, let me come out of this. Get loaded in a bit. Okay. Sometimes it gets a bit slow. I can use my user options, and I can go to users data. Let me clean it up quickly. 1 second, guys. I'm very sorry. Like actually, sometimes we have so much, and it's because of the junk data. Okay. Yes. Okay. So it should be able to show you everything right now. So I'm going to USMF right now. And let me open any sales order. Let me open the sales order list page, and so that I can get hold of any sales order, and let me try to give the gist of the sales orders. Okay. So I'm saying, can you tell me the gist of a sales order? So essentially what is happening is, from this step, it is coming to here. It is getting the sales order number. It is storing it in a sales ID in a variable. and then again asking the legal entity for which I'm going to do this, and it is storing in a variable called legal entity. Then again, it is coming and sending it to a Power Automate. What is this Power Automate doing is, if I click on view flow details, I will be able to see what is exactly this Power Automate doing. 1 second. So this is what, and okay. Kind of slow. Okay, so say for example, I have this sales order. You see, it's a 6-digit something. Okay, so I'm getting any sales order, any one of them, and I'm saying, can you get me summary for sales order? I'm asking this question so that it comes back and asks me back, like, what is the sales order number? So you see, I'm selling the sales is my sales order. You see, it is understanding that this is the only sales order number which I'm interested in, not the entire user response. Okay, so you see, not the entire user response, it is understanding it, it is interpreting it. Next, I'm saying, please tell me the legal entity. Then I'm saying the legal, okay, legal entity, okay, like that I'm answering like, USMF is my legal entity, I'm saying. So when I say that, it is contacting that, that flow, which is basically doing what? Let me take you to this flow and I will show you what is this flow doing. It's awesome feature of Chat GPT. I will show you what is it doing. You see, it is taking you the details of the sales order. Basically, what is it doing? It is basically giving the sales order number, status is this, order total is this, like that. See more, you see, all these things basically is justified by using your Copilot prompts. How is this done? You are inputting something and it is coming back to you, in so many preordained and so beautiful beautiful way. How is it happening basically? So to answer that, let me show you the flow. This is all the miracle of a step, this step which I am very much interested in, the create text with GPT using a prompt. This one, let us see what is it doing step by step. From the first step, it is basically asking the user to give the sales ID and data area ID, which is good, which is you are passing it from here, sales ID and data area ID, which it is basically receiving out here. Then in the next step, it is basically creating a HTTP bearer token. I'm sure you are familiar with this. It's very simple, like it is basically using your tokens and it is basically passing on the client ID, client secret and all these details to our Dynamics 365 resource. You know how this is done. You have done it number of times through Postman. Okay. Then I am using a variable called init where I am basically breaking down in the part of the access token. Basically the access token comes as a JSON response from here. And then I'm calling the main Dynamics 365 finance and operations entity. This is where the trick is. You see how is this working? So if I copy this guy and if I break it down, okay, if I break it down into, I'm removing all the variable parts. So what I'm doing is the sales order number EQ, then this 27, I'm removing this trigger part of this 27 and I am giving the value of the sales ID which I want it to check. So where is my sales ID located? My sales ID is located in here. I'm bringing my sales ID from here and I'm pasting it in my notepad here. And my data area ID, again, I have to take it out from this 27 to /27. What is this 27 basically? This 27 is nothing but, I'm telling you what. So this is essentially means, okay. So when you copy this, let me copy this and let me run it for you. Let me see what it comes. Okay. So I am copying and pasting it here. So essentially what it does, it's not able to find anything because, okay, the reason is the cross company sales order number equals to 20. Okay, my bad. So what I've done is I have not given this. It, you can remove this as as 20. You remove this as equals. Again, you remove this and give a space like that, and then you are removing this 27 with a apostrophe. I mean a single quote like this. Okay, and again I am removing this space. I mean this 20 and I'm giving a space like this, and I'm removing this 20 and giving a space like this, which 20 means basically you are giving a space. And again I am removing this equals. Rest part I'm leaving as it is. I think it's going to work this time. Okay. So okay, it is not understanding, no problem. So basically I need to tell you what is it doing. If you open this sales order number, okay, so essentially all the sales orders of this data area ID. Right now I'm in my INMF. Okay, so all the sales orders of INMF would be listed. What it does is that it's going to cross company. You see cross company equal to true. So it will be able to filter from the data area ID which I'm selecting. So data area ID right now is USMF. And sales ID is what? Sales ID is what I'm basically sending from the first step, this step. And if I am going to, 1 second, I think I'm already having this. Yeah, say for example, this one, it is exactly the same thing is doing by using the vendor numbers. You see, if I come down to here, okay, okay, let me come back to it. Before that, I just need to give you a small ideation, like how is this happening. So if I click on this, you'll be able to see the vendor number. For this vendor number, INMF001, and for this data area ID, INMF, I am getting the details of this vendor. So if you click on this pretty print, you'll be able to see all the details of this vendor. So one particular vendor is like this. So if you remove this vendor filter, okay, so everything will be shown. So how is this done? You just have a look, like filter equal to vendor account number, then space, then EQ space, in single quotes you give the vendor number, then again space, and then again space data area ID space EQ, then you're giving the data area ID for which you want to view this. So if you do this for sales order number also, the same thing can happen. Say for example, let me just refresh my query from here quickly and give it to you. Let me just copy this so that not to disturb this. Okay. 1 second, guys. I'm just copying and pasting it here quickly. And my sales order number was 0089. I'm sure, was it 0089? Yes, it is 0089. I'm popping this, pasting it here. And okay, where did I paste? Oh, sales order number, I'm pasting it here. Okay, pasting it here. And then data area ID, I'm giving as USMF. So if I copy this URL and bring it here, you'd be able to see the sales order details. It's something again is crossed. Oh, okay. Sorry, I made a mistake here. Basically, it should be sales order number instead. Sales order header. My bad. Okay. I'm giving it a sales order header. So copying it again. Okay. Yeah, you see the sales order details have come. So you see, it's just a JSON's various values of JSON. Okay, and this is exactly what I'm getting in this tab from this tab called HTTP D365 FNO entity. This is exactly what I'm getting by calling this as a variable. So you can try this and you can filter your JSON response. Okay. Next comes, okay, so that I have received this JSON, right? So I need to get a gist of this JSON. Just exactly I am doing this by using a AI summarized prompt. What is this AI summarized prompt is doing? I'm passing on the value that I've got from here and passing on the value and sending it here. So it is just going to summarize and send it back to you. Very simple. You see, as a result, what is happening? Whatever value I'm giving it here, it is summarizing in the form like you saw it here, like here in sales orders. Here you are like this format, it is going to come back to you. Just not this, even if you ask similar similar flow I've created, similar entity I've created. I mean, what I'd say, similar topic I've created. Let me go to the topics and let me show you to the topics. Let me filter last modified equal to. Can you get the vendor details? 1 second. Yeah, can you get vendor details? It's doing the same things. If I say, can you fetch the details of a vendor? It is going to do the same thing. You see, I'm asking the same question to my Copilot. Can you the vendor details? Can you get vendor details? So if I it is saying, can you provide the vendor code? So, okay, vendor code is what? The vendor code keep ready. So I'm again saying my vendor code is like this. I'm saying, okay. You see, it is able to understand like I am not uh, referring to the entire this thing. Rather, I am referring to this point only like this. Can you tell me the legal entity of the vendor? I'm saying yes, yes, the legal entity is INMF. If I say that, let's see what happens. It's exactly doing the same exercise. So what is it doing is basically it is calling to this entity into this vendor details. Please provide the vendor code. Then can you give the legal entity of this vendor? Then I'm again calling to a flow which is similar in structure as that of the sales order which I showed you. So if you click on this, get the view the details, you'll be able to see this. It's doing the same exercise. So if you come back to here, you'd see the details of the vendors have come. INMF like this, the vendor account number is this. However, the vendor details was, the invoice account was vendor INMF 005. Like that, all these details it has brought back to you. Okay, 005. It has got the name of this vendor is this, and like all these details, it is taking back to you. So for that, what I've done again, the same thing I've done as the that of sales order. Okay. So here, if you run a flow, I'm again doing the same exercise. Like I'm accepting the vendor account and data ID, and initializing the bearer tokens and passing it on. And then I'm creating the text with GPT using a prompt. It's the same thing, excepting here I am using a built-in prompt, but here I'm using a custom prompt. You see, get gist of vendor input. So this is a custom prompt, and this is a built-in prompt. This is a built-in prompt, which is a part of my existing Copilot's details. Let it load. Basically, it's a AI summarized prompt, which is a built-in prompt from Microsoft. And this prompt I have created. What is it doing? It's very simple. You click on this, and if you pass on the JSON outcome, it will be able to summarize and show it to you in as a text. Let it get loaded. I'm just pausing it for a while. I'm going to like to ask you, like, if you have any question, this for please, you can ask me in the meanwhile. No question? Okay. So here you see the summary of the following JSON, and inside the JSON I have given a JSON template which looks like this. You see the value like this. I have basically grabbed this JSON and passed it on. And if I click on this test prompt, I'll be able to see like what is it returning. So I'm doing the same exercise here. You see the vendor account number is this, like this. It is basically doing. Okay, so I'm canceling this and coming out. And if you see, like I am grabbing this outcome and responding to my Copilot. I'm just for simplicity's sake, I've created a variable called when summary response, and which is nothing but the prediction output slash text. Prediction output slash text. So if you see on this, if you click on this, if you click on this FX, and if you go to the dynamic content and you go all the way down, you'll be able to see the the text. If you click on this text, it will be able to see like prediction output slash text. This will come, which is nothing but the response from the chat GPT. It is basically channelizing your JSON input as a plain text outcome, so that it is giving a feel to the user like as if the computer is talking back to you. Okay, it's a kind of trick that you can use. Okay, so that's it. I'm coming out of it. I'm just not going to save it. And I think you need to go through this video a couple of times so that you get well versed with the idea. So this is one thing, which is an application of Copilots with topics, so as to create this kind of summarization. Okay, just not this. If you see, like if I ask a question to my Dynamics 365, let me come out of it. It looks weird if I'm staying in this form. And I'm relaunching my Copilot sidecar. If I ask a question again, can you get me vendors details? You see, here I'll show you a strange magic. You see, this is the best part of the custom Copilot. What I'm saying is my vendor code is, I'm typing any arbitrary value. Okay, let me see what happens. It is asking the same question again. Please provide the vendor code. Why? Because this vendor code which I provided, no, it's not falling in the same pattern as defined in the vendor code. So as a result, it is getting confused, and it's asking the same question. Can you please provide the vendor code? So unless I provide a definitive a correct vendor code, it will keep on asking me. So I'm saying my vendor code is INMF hyphen. Then it is going to go forward for the next question, like what is the legal entity? And the same thing will happen, like INMF, same thing will happen. It will keep on going like this. So here it is working on it, and it is going to feed you the details of the vendor. So that's it. So this is one example whereby you can make use of your custom entities and prompts and chat. Let me show one for additions or any kind of. Okay, can you let me on board? If I say this, what happens? So it's saying, it's going to say, ask a few questions. Basically, what is happening is, let me take you back to the agents in the meanwhile. Okay, so let it open. I will explain what is happening here. Okay. So he's saying, sure, please give me customer code, name, group, currency, and the legal entity where you want to create. I'm saying, can you create a customer with code C2 like this? Anything I'm giving. Name is equal to Ramit Paul. Okay, so let me give some other name because I've already created Ramit Paul. Let me give a name as Ranga. Okay, and with the customer group is equal to 90, currency equal to, one second, is currency equal to USD for legal entity USMF. If I say this, let me see what happens. It's going to take a while and it will create a customer with this details. So customer has got created successfully. I will see that. Let me my account receivable and let me launch my customers. Sales orders was fine, but let me open the customers once again. Sometimes it hangs up without no reason. Okay, so and let me find like where is my this newly created customer is. Okay, so okay, and I'm filtering by my newly created. A lot of people, a lot of customers have already created by this actually, and you'll see this has created with these details. Okay, so how is this possible? How has this happened? So I will take you to a topic called customer onboarding. Okay, create customer through NLP. I've created this agent. Sorry, a topic. What is this topic doing? Very simple. What is it doing is that whenever you ask questions like this, can you create a customer? Help me create customers like this. Whenever you ask questions, basically it is saying, telling you back like, please give customer code, name, blah blah blah, all these things, and it is storing the user's entire response as a string variable, as a local variable, as a string. You know, it's a local variable. How did I say it's a local variable? Because if I click on this, you'd see down here, it is, sorry, not here. Yeah. If you click on this, if you go down here, it's global or local. So I'm keeping it as a local variable, which is topic. Okay. So if I say this and I'm closing it, if I say this and coming out, and what I'm doing is that I am sending the entire response, the customer text response to a flow. Okay, and receiving the result of the response. What this flow is doing, let me close the previous two windows just to avoid confusion, and let me click on it quickly. And if you see on this flow is actually very simple, very simple. Again, it is going to receive the entire code, entire input from the user. Okay, it's taking a lot of time. Quickly, let me conclude this because I have to jump into the Power Apps. What are this, which is going to be much, very exciting topic. And let's wait for a bit and see what happens. Okay, topics are empty. It's not showing anything as yet. Okay, so if I come down here and this Power Automate, as I was saying, if I click on this view flow details, what it's doing is it is doing the same drill again. Basically, it is going to accept the user's inputs. The user's inputs here, edit. I'm clicking on edit. Okay, again the same drill. Like I'm accepting the entire JSON input from the user, whatever user is going to give me. Then I am parsing the JSON. I am parsing what? I'm parsing the JSON. What is this? So basically, what JSON I am parsing? This JSON is nothing but. Let me take you to the prompt. Okay, so the prompt is get customer input details. I've created a prompt here. Okay, so what is it doing? Can you get the value of the customer code? Okay, not this one. 1 second. Okay. Customer group ID list. 1 second. Okay, let me come to here. Yes. So basically what is it doing is that I am defining a JSON. JSON is what? This JSON is nothing but run a flow from Copilot. Okay, run a flow from Copilot. So what is this flow is doing? This is this I've called it from here, right? I've called it from the previous game. And this flow is this JSON is what? JSON is not the user input. In the meanwhile, something has happened. What has happened? I am calling the prompt. Yes, I missed this step. That's why actually, I was sorry for this. So I am calling this prompt, this step I'm calling this customer text, whatever you have given in this step. You remember this step which you gave? Can you create a customer? All this step basically it is analyzing and sending it to a prompt to decipher it as a JSON. Say for example, so if I click on this view model details, so it will open. Let us open this and let us see what is written inside. This is also a custom prompt which we have created, and in the prompt it is loading. In the prompt, what it's doing is that it is basically stripping out the value of your customer name, customer code, customer group, currency, and legal entity as different JSON, attributes, and creating a JSON body out of it. Okay, so that rest part is just the same as usual in what I did for the previous steps. It's getting HTTP AD token, initializing the variable once again. And again, what I'm doing is that I'm calling customer v3 data or data entity. I'm calling this customer v3 and passing all these values, invoice account, data area ID, customer group account, IDs, all these things. I'm passing this on. Party type I'm hard coding as organization, but yes, you can change this definitely. And organization name and currency code, all these values I'm passing on and posting it, making a post. And if this execution is successful, I'm keeping a condition out here. If it is true, it should be sent to respond as created, customer created successfully. And if anything gets wrong, if anything goes wrong, it will come back saying customer creation failed. Okay, so let me see what is written here. Can you get the details of customer code, customer name? Like this, I've created the prompt. So inside the prompt, if I click on this prompt, I'll see like exactly what I have passed on. I have passed it on like this. Okay, and can you get the value of customer code, name, group, legal entity, and currency from the entire text as JSON? The response should look like that I have written, and remove that extra things from the response that I have given. So if I click on this test prompt, I will get the JSON payload structure like this. I've copied this and I've come to here. This is why you are seeing a parse JSON here. You see parse JSON. Parse JSON, I have copied it and pasted it here as parse JSON. Okay. So as a result, I'm getting the value of customer code, name, everything. I'm getting here right away in my parse JSON. And this is the input from where actually this parse JSON is coming, and input is already having these details, So in my prompt, this is getting converted into a JSON. That's it. So once this is done, I am getting the result of the execution and I'm sending it back to the client. Again, I'm pausing for a while. Let me ask you if you have any questions.
Sorry,
Hi.
Subhash. Oh, sorry. Uh, yeah, I have a query. It might be a simple query, but like you're saying that the prompt is converting it to the JSON. Where exactly you have mentioned the prompt in the flow? I didn't get that.
Uh, Sure, Chaya, I will explain that. No problem. So that's a very interesting question, actually. So you remember, like I am basically asking a question back. Sure, can you please give me the customer code name and all these things? It is basically receiving this as a variable called response. And then I am sending this response to a prompt, this prompt which you just saw. So if you click on this view model, it will rewrote that prompt where you are converting the user response as a JSON. Whatever variable, whatever you are inputting as this thing, it is going to be converted as a JSON. It is again going to take that amount of time. So yeah, if you remember, like basically, yeah, it has come, no problem. So this is where actually it is getting converted. So this is the text value which I have defined here, and it is basically converted this as a JSON code. Here it is happening. So essentially you can call this JSON into this flow directly without, without your need to again break it down into a JSON. Does it answer your
Yeah, got
question?
it, got it. Yeah.
Yeah, you can take a look at the breakdown so that it makes more sense to you. It can make more sense to you actually.
Yeah, got it now.
Yeah. Okay, so that's an idea like whereby you can automate your customer creations, sales order creations also you can do like this. So that was a very brief about the Copilot's agents. So that's not all. Obviously, there's so many things which are left out, and you can keep on adding more and more ingredients to it. Say, for example, you can create your own custom agents, your actions. So actions is as of now it's empty because all my actions are created in the in my Dynamics 365 demo out here. What is the difference of creating it here and here? The difference is all your actions, if you create it here, it will be restricted to this agent only, for this agent only. Whereas if you define any flow, any plugin out here in Microsoft Power Automate, it will be available all across for all agents, regardless of wherever you are calling it from. So it's better to define them here, just in case if you want to keep it focused in your for this particular agent only, you can restrict it here itself. Okay, so I am coming out and let me take you to the Power Apps, and this is another very interesting topic, which is limitless. I am planning myself and Ramit, basically we can plan another detailed session on Power Apps, which can help you understand it better. So we are from Dynamics FNO background or Dynamics BC background. So for them, this is more of relevance. The C people, they're already masters of creating, the Power App stuffs. So for them, maybe these are very, kiddish, but for us, it's going to be, a lot of things we can invest and we can make more R&Ds out here. So say, for example, I am creating, if you remember, let me start with from get list of vendor input, or I want to get the salary sales orders summaries, or if I want to get the vendor address, any address, if I want to prompt. So say for example, I'm clicking on this. I'm sorry, canceling this, and I'm giving a classical example of taking you to my home, and I'm taking you to my apps. And so these are various apps which are there, which are created by me. And once again, there are so many apps which are already available in the system, which are shared with me. And there are some things which are applicable. I can see all of them because I'm having the admin's perspective. Okay, so say for example, let me start with the AI hub first of all. So AI hubs are having various data models. Say for example, I have AI models out here, and I have created a model whereby it can read the context of a purchase order docket. So let me load this up first. So say for example, document processing, I have created a document processing out here. How can I create this? It's very simple. So you can click on documents, and you can extract information from invoices, extract all text from photos and PDFs, OCRs, extract custom information from documents like that. There are so many options available. So example, document processing. This is one which I have created. If you click on this, so here I have made the model learn how should my purchase order should look like. Okay, so let me go to here, test data and developments. Okay, 1 second. I'm going to here, and I'm going to my 1 moment videos. Okay, not here. Okay, so here I have, I'm discarding the draft for the time being. Discard draft. Just give me a moment. Let me unshare and share back my screen. 1 second. Yes. Okay, so I figured out where is what. And millions. Okay, so I am sharing my screen once again. Here is our okay, so here are some images which I have kept it handy. Say for example, these are the various kinds of purchase order that actually my purchase order should look like, and I have sorry sorry for this. Yeah. So these are the various purchase order formats which I am using in my system. And the top I have the purchase order number, and I then have the details of the vendor from where this purchase order is coming. Okay, so these are the various details which I have created. Okay, so for example, this is a typical example of delivery docket and all these things. I have taught this to my AI model out here. Where is my AI model? 1 moment. Let me go here. Yes. Okay, so here is my AI model. So inside my AI model, what I've done is that I have, I have taught my AI models with as many as 10 to 15 number of documents like this. So the essence of this documents processing is like you can define your own labels. So what are labels? If you remember the basic definition of image classification is basically any image could be classified. If you remember the essence of the supervised machine learning is basically you can label up an observation. Say for example, this is a photo of a dog. This is a photo of a cat. This is a photo of a bird. So these are various types of labels which you can label up to make the machine understand and predict. So these are different labels. You see the currency is a label. Okay, so if you go down, amount due is a label, invoice total is a label. So I have said like these are the different labels which are part of my learning. So if I go to next, so here I can upload my documents, my attachments. There are two collections which I have created as of now. I can keep on adding more and more collection and adding more and more documents to it. So that I can make it learn, and then if I click on learn, if I click on next, it would start learning. But before that, let me show you what is inside. So you see, these are 5 or 6 documents all in all, where I have mentioned like where is my purchase order is located, where is my vendor is located, where is my vendor code located, like that I have mentioned. So and then I have, when I go to next and train, it will start training. So I'm not training because I don't want to it will take at least 1 hour or close to 40 minutes to get trained, so I'm not doing that. So let me come back to my Power App and let me use this. So you can use it directly, here it's so simple. What I'm doing is I am launching my Power Apps model, and Let me remove all of it and go to my pic.powerapps.com. And here, let it get loaded. What I'm saying is I am having this purchase order. Okay. So where is my purchase order? Say, for example, I have this purchase order with me. Yes, this purchase order with me, which is PO36. And this is in USMF data entity, legal entity. Okay. So I'm going to USMF. Okay. And I'm going to my purchase orders, and I would see like this. Let me try to upload this PU36, I mean PO36 in my purchase order. So if I go to accounts payable and all my purchase orders, I'd be able to see the currently my uh, purchase order PO360036. What is my 36 one? This one, yeah. So here my purchase order is as of now. Uh, Anything is attached? Okay, let me delete this. Okay. Quickly delete this one, and let me show you like how can you use this. Okay. Let me remove this one as well, and let me go to apps, and you see here documents, inventory. I've created document automation, scan and attach purchase order documents. Like that, I've created a very simple app. What it's doing is basically, let it get loaded quickly, and come out, and this is my PO36. It's taking a lot of time. Cookies. And so the idea is like you can use this model in your own landscape. Say, for example, you can scan a check which is sent by the user, and you can do a reverse engineering. Like, you know what? You can get the check and you can get the amount in TXT, to whom this has been sent, the party number, the date, and you can create a journal out of it by scanning the document. So if I run this, my current user is Subhashis, which is a member of USMF legal entity by default. So my legal entity will be loading up as USMF only. So one moment, let it get loaded. And you see USMF by default, it has come. Let me upload any purchase order. Let me upload a purchase order like this, Control C, and let me click on this, and let me use this. So it will take a couple of moments to get uploaded, and you will see, you will get all the values of the document here in these boxes. Okay, so if I upload this, it will take a few moments to do the attachment against the purchase order which I am accounting it. So this is my purchase order 36. It has got attached to here. How will I see that? Let me refresh this, and let's see, like in my 36, if I get in my 36 attachment, you see it has attached, and you can see a preview out of it. It is very simple. How this is done is very simple. It might sound like, my gosh, what is it happening? This is very simple. So okay, so if I, sorry, let me close this, it will go. Okay, so it's very simple. You see here I am making use of a form processor. What is this form processor? If you click on plus form, okay, form document processor, I can click on form processor, and you can drag and drop it to here. The moment you drag and drop it to here, it will ask for, okay, It's a form processor which you want to use, but what is the model of the form processor? So here you can specify the model that you are using, which is nothing but here, this one. Okay, document processing, which is equal to the name of the model which you just saw in my models, data models. So here I am using this data model. So you see, click on this, it will come here, this data model. I said show image as true. Analyze this is a text by default which will come here. You can use some other text also, no problem. And show controls are also here like that. And the moment you are doing the scanning, all these details will come down to here. How is it possible? Like I'm giving the name as form processor D365A4. Like that, I have given the name of this control. And here I'm giving form processor dot results dot purchase order dot value, like all the variables, whatever I've defined inside invoice date dot value, address dot value, everything it is going to be taking out and going to show it to you. It's very simple, you see. And the most important thing, the most important difference of using a Power Apps based AI model as compared to Azure AI model. The same thing you can also do by using the Azure AI something known as the form intelligence, or form recognizer it's called. So what is the difference? What is the benefit, and what should I use? Form document, form recognizer, or form processor? Which is more useful to use? Okay, I would say, in spite of an Azure fan, I would say like this has a number of benefits. You see here, most importantly, the scanned component comes as a base 64 string. Okay, it automatically converts this as a base 64 string, but in your Azure AI document intelligence, that does not come as a base 64 string. You have to convert this. Okay, so as a result, what is happening, if you come to upload these buttons on select event, you'd see set status. I have defined a variable called status. I'm calling a Power Apps V2 attachment PO. Obviously, you can understand it's nothing but a what? A Power Apps. It's calling Power Apps V2 attachment to PO. What is this? I will show you what. Let it get reloaded. Okay, so and then I'm passing txt receipt number, which is nothing but this receipt number. Okay, dot text, and then I'm substituting the original image, this value of this original image, that is this value, and it will create as a base 64 string. Basically, I want to remove that base 64 string out of it. I want to remove that. Okay, I want to remove that by saying substitute this with empty value. So as a result, it will be very fast. So if you compare this with uh, Azure AI Form Recognizer, it is way faster. Okay. So here, and I'm selecting the drop down legal entity, which is this one, legal entity dot selected text dot value. I'm passing this as a variable into this Power Apps v2 dot attachment. Okay. What is it doing? Let me take you to my flow and I will show you. It's very simple. All is it doing is it is calling to my okay, Power Apps v2. What is it? Okay. How will you see this? Where you'll be able to see your Power Apps v2 attachment to PO? You can click on these three dots here, Power Automate, and in the Power Automate attachment to PO, if you can click on this and edit, you would be able to see what is it doing. So it is doing what? It is getting the value of three things: the value of the customer input, that is the purchase order number, the legal entity, and the base 64s, the converted base 64, the attachment value. So all these things, three things it is getting and calling your Power Apps as a Power Apps V2, it is calling. So this Power Apps is basically getting loaded and it takes all, this is the main problem. Otherwise, everything is fabulous. You see, it's very slow. Otherwise, it's fabulous. Okay, slow in the sense for development time slow, but for actual time when you are going to execute, execute this, definitely it's not slow. So you see Power Apps V2, it is purchase ID, image content, and the legal entity. It is capturing and initializing the variable for file content, which I am getting the file content as the image content. I'm taking it down as a string. And again, I'm doing the same exercise, getting the AAD token, okay, which I showed you previously, getting the AAD token and parsing the value of the access token. And finally, I'm calling the Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations here, which is an attachment URL, this one. And here I'm passing the bearer token like this. And then the main body, you see the data ID, document ID, file name, all these things I'm sending as variables. All these things I'm sending as variable and I'm sending it as of type file. If you try to do the same thing using our document intelligence in Azure, this won't be this simple. This would have to, you have to do it, the entire exercise in a while loop. Until and unless it, you have to keep on doing the same exercise again and again until you get to the main, the main JSON body of the purchase ID variable, which you are basically want to pass it on. Like here, I'm directly accessing the purchase ID here, but there you have to keep on parsing unless you reach into the main JSON body of the purchase ID. So you can go and use this option directly instead of bothering to use Azure AI document intelligence. This is way better. Okay, so this is one example of it. And you see, the document ID, it's a primary, it's a unique index which I'm using a GUID. I'm creating, I'm calling a function called GUID, which is an inbuilt function in Power Apps. I'm calling it up. That's it. And your attachment is going to be attached to the target record which you are selecting. I'm taking just few couple of minutes of your time. I'm very sorry that it's going to go more than the scheduled time. So this is how the attachment you can make use of attachments against Power Apps, Power Automate. You can make use of. This is one example. Another example, I'm not saving anything. Yeah, another example of using intelligent apps is you already have seen the capabilities of prompts. So here in my prompts, if I come down and if I go to the address, there you see there's a prompt which I've created called get detail or get address details or validate address prompt. Okay, so you see it's such a intelligent application. So I'm saying customer address. Okay, so here you created a customer, right? I have created a customer called Ranga. If I come back and if you remember that there was a customer called Ranga, and I'm saying, why not? I've created the Ranga's, and why don't I update the Ranga's address also? Because no customer is complete without the address. Okay, so why don't I update the address part? So for that, if you remember what you used to do in your previously, like you have separate fields for country, state, city, controls. And then we used to do validations for each and every one of these controls. Instead of that, why don't I make use of Chat GPT itself to validate the controls? How is that possible? That is possible by, here I'm running this. So here let me run this and I can select a customer. So what I've done is I purposely have kept the structure like this. One moment, it's getting loaded. There's dots as they're moving. And okay, it's kind of slow out here. Okay, let it get loaded. Sorry once again, guys. So here, let me show you, like, I'm getting the address details from here. Extract the value of address, city, postal code as I shown you previously. So here, if I whatever the value of the address that I will get here, it will be created in a JSON. Okay, and let me search for this customer which I created, Ranga. If I search this, so you see here, it is searching. It's going to take a while to search it out, and I think so. Where is it now? Yeah, this is my this is 12121. Okay, So this is my customer. So I'm saying my customer address, let it be something like anything. I'm giving a gibberish address, which is nothing. Okay. I'm giving like, test address, then Hyderabad, then, anything I'm giving, which is non-existent, 890012. And country is IND. When I'm saying this, let me submit and see what happens. Okay. So you see, it is saying invalid address provided. Please check with PIN. How is this possible? How is it knowing this? It's an awesome thing I would show you. I'm saying here validate address prompt. Is this a valid address for the given postal code and county, country city combination? So the address is given as a variable out here. Use precision location for the address, pin code, locality, and country. Answer in yes or no. So what is this? I've defined a variable out here, something like this I've given, which is a wrong address. So if I test this, it will say, no, it's not a correct address. Okay. So this is exactly what I wanted. Here it is coming as a wrong address because in Hyderabad, there is no pin code called this. Okay. So let me give a proper pin code, test address. I'm giving, I don't know Hyderabad's pin, so let me call a pin like this. Like,
5,82,000.
so I am just on OK. I'm clicking on submit. Okay. So if I say this, let me see. Okay. Submit.
Suppose your voice is breaking. I don't know. Is it happening with me or not?
Yes, for the other one. Yeah.
Okay.
No, no. Here also the voice is breaking.
Yeah.
Can you hear now? Is it fine?
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
it's now fine.
Yeah. So this address got updated successfully. Okay. So I'm clicking on OK and let me see what has happened to Ranga's account. So I am just refreshing the customer list page quickly and let me refresh. Let me go to Ranga's account, Ranga, and let me see. Okay. So if you click on this, I'll be able to see the address here. Okay. Here. Okay. So if I click on this address, you'd see it has stripped off everything. The country, it has stripped. The postal code, it has stripped. The city, it has stripped. The address street, it has stripped without writing any code. And the city also, it has stripped. Okay. Without writing any code, you are doing this. How is it possible? Is basically you are doing both the part of data messaging as well as data validation or data insertion. Okay. How is this done? Is basically very simple. You click on the submit button, and from the submit button, it is calling to this customer address update, which is nothing but again a flow, again a Power Automate. Customer address update. If I click on edit, I'll be able to see the details of it. And if you see, like, get address details, and firstly the validation happens, then the address details are updated. How is this validation is happening? I will show you. It's very simple. So I think by now we have got the pattern, got the signature of the entire structure. So basically it's all about calling through ChatGPT power prompts, built-in prompts and custom prompts and entities, all these things without writing much of code. So I think by now we have got the rhythm. And okay, so let it get loaded up quickly. I'll just take 2-3 minutes of your time max. Okay, so it is basically saying, ignore this, Power Apps V2. It is calling the customer account and the address. This customer account is nothing but the one which you have provided in your drop down. Okay, then I'm saying create text with GPT using a prompt, validate address, if this address is valid or not. If this address is valid, if this address comes as a valid, it is basically conveying to this condition as if it is yes, if it is true, if it is comes as a yes, then the scope I have defined a scope. I'm sure what is the scope, you know about that. Scope is basically a kind of a structure, a variable, a section which is basically you know, defining a certain states of variables inside a given block of code. Okay, so inside this scope, what I'm doing is that I'm creating text with GPT using a prompt here. So I'm creating this one here, like if you get to address details, I'm calling this GPT UC, get to address details. Here I'm passing this on. Then the rest part is, as I told you, like basically I'm doing here what I'm basically calling this is prompt, and let me copy this. I've just copied it here and I've pasted in my parts JSON. Okay. So thereby I've got the entire value of seats, pretty, postal code, everything I'm getting here. You see, seats, pretty, location ID, I'm basically giving it as some kind of a, a random number saying that's business like this. But you can give any number of your choice. You can keep a location ID is basically unique. That's why you can give definitive name. Say for example, home address, business address, office address like that. You can give roles as business is primary as yes. These are I have purposely hard coded, but you can keep this as variables. Descriptions as concatenations. Descriptions here. Street is this street is basically I've received from above this parse JSON. City is this, which is also I have got from the parse JSON. State I have kept it as blank because state I have not covered in my address definition, but you can also keep it along with the definition. Zip and postal code and county is of no use in India. That's why I've kept it blank. So in purposely, but you can also keep this county in your address definition. Okay, and the rest part is very simple. If this is true, if the status is equal to 200 or 201, 200 means okay, and 201 means accepted, then it is yes and updated successfully. And if it fails, updation failed. Like that, it will give you an error. So, and also in the previous if then else, in the else statement, I'm saying the invalid address provided, which is the error which you got previously. And this is how actually you can throw an error and stop the user from going any further details. So with that, you can, I have also defined a word, I have created a, let me take you the tree view, and I have created a container. So this container is this. Inside this container, I have created a label called here. And inside the label, I have created a button called button OK. All these things are invisible. Why? Because in my advanced, if you go to visible, there is a event called visible. If is blank response. What is this response? And I will show you. So response, if it is blank, then it should be false. And if it is not blank, it should be visible. Okay. So what is this response? This submit button, I'm setting the response value as the response here. Okay. So I am selecting the value as party ID, text, and the response I'm selecting in this variable called response. That's it. So the moment I am submitting here, it will uh, it will store the outcome in this variable called response. And that very moment, the value of the response, if it is whatever the value comes, if it is correct or incorrect, it will be visible. And then in the button OK, the moment the user is selecting or clicking on OK, I'm setting the response again as blank. As a result, it will go invisible again. That's it. Let me know, you guys, like it's a long story, like I'm sure like it cannot be concluded in over just couple of slides. And yeah, I understand that. So please ask me questions like what do you think.